Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Sharique, and today with me we have Brian Mantle. He is Geschäftsführer for Deutsche Cricketbund, or in English, CEO of German Cricket Federation. And today our topic is very interesting. First of all, welcome to the show, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Sharique. Thank you for the invitation.
Welcome. And today our topic is very interesting and very important, especially in the context of coronavirus times. Normally in April or May, we are already in the league season, but we cannot start till now. So Brian will update our viewers and especially the cricket fans about the current situation going on regarding coronavirus and the cricket.
Yeah, well, at the moment, it's not allowed to play cricket. It's as simple as that. It's not allowed to play competitive cricket. None of the 16 states in Germany allows clubs to play competitive sport. Last Thursday, the government announced new regulations that made it possible for certain sports, contactless sports, to train in small groups. The regulations are different in every state, but more or less clubs can actually now get out in small groups of about 5 people out onto the cricket field and play with a bat and a ball. It's not the cricket that we know and love, that's certain, but the clubs are now in a position to actually get out there and do something.
Yes, so it's very interesting for people. So at the moment, as Brian said, officially cricket is not yet allowed, but we are working to get permissions and slowly the trainings will be allowed. So Brian, for our viewers, especially who are not in Germany or even in Germany, tell us how many regions there are. So in Bayern, there are 16 states, but how many regional cricket boards there are at the moment and how many cricket clubs there are in Germany?
Okay, well, there's about 150 clubs at the moment. It's pretty stable. The last few months, there hasn't been much growth. Where there has been growth is in the regions. Traditionally, we have 6 regions in Germany, but 2 new states are in a position that they're going to become members of the DCB very shortly. One of them is in Sachsen-Anhalt. Sachsen-Anhalt is in the middle of Germany, in the old eastern part of Germany, and also Saxony, which is the Dresden area. So that will mean we'll have 8 regional boards. Our target is at some point to have 16, so that means 1 per region. But it's obvious that we're particularly strong where the big cities are, so in Frankfurt, in Munich, in Berlin, in Cologne, places like that.
Okay, so cricket is really growing in last few years. So when we talk about coronavirus again, so it was a shock. The preparations were really good in the winter season. People were really geared up doing the indoor trainings, and it came all of a sudden. So as a CEO of German Cricket Board, all kind of news coming in, some states putting lockdown before the earlier. So what were the first reactions, and how did you go from there onward?
Well, we were shocked like everybody else. I mean, we were preparing our 2 national teams for a very important season. Our women went to Oman. I think it was February. They went there for a week. They won all of the games against the Oman national team. We're looking forward to a fantastic season. The men went to Spain, had a training camp, played 2 T20Is against Spain. We won 1 and we lost 1. And we were thinking about a great season. We knew that Corona was there in the background like everybody else. But we came home from Spain, and within a week, Germany was more or less in lockdown like the rest of Europe, like the rest of the world. This means basically no cricket at the moment. We hope that things are getting better. We're very lucky. I feel very lucky to live in a country like Germany at the moment that has reacted in a very positive way to the virus and locked down and has reduced the infections quite a lot. So we might be in a position in a few weeks to play cricket. It really depends on how the virus develops and what the government says. Tomorrow evening, our sports committee, our Sportsausschuss, is meeting to confirm regulations or decisions that our board has taken over the last few days, and we'll be making an announcement hopefully Wednesday or Thursday about how things continue with the different league formats this year and what our targets are about playing cricket. But one thing is clear, we've at least lost half of our season. There's not much we can do about it other than be prepared. And speaking to our regions, I know that the moment we're allowed to play cricket, all our regions will be ready and we will be playing cricket, but making sure that our players, our officials, our umpires, our scorers, everybody involved in cricket is safe. That it has to be, for any organisation like us, has to be our main priority.
Yes, so it's very important. I think all the cricket fans are really eager to play cricket. On the
Oh,
other hand, we need to be, yeah, because they are indoors. On the other hand, we need to be really, really careful about the precautionary measures that we have to take, and we need support from all the players, all the
yeah.
clubs, all the players.
But we all miss certain things in this crisis. I mean, for me and for you, and probably lots of the people who are listening to this, cricket is our main passion. And I spent every day looking at the results, looking forward to games, analyzing the news, reading it, and this is missing from our lives. But on the other
Mm.
hand, people are dying all around the world. People are sick. We have to do without it for a few weeks. But you
Yes.
know, we are a sports federation. Our business is cricket. We want to be out there doing our business, but as I
Mm.
said, only when it's safe.
Yes. So I will ask all the viewers, please take this opportunity, especially if you are members of different cricket clubs, write your questions in comments, and we will try to ask Brian to answer these comments in the limited time. So please ask your questions in the comments. So we have few comments here. So Ustav is from Munich Lions Cricket Club. He's asking, are we allowed to resume practice now? If you could give some clarity on this topic or some comments.
Okay, well, it's not the DCB's decision. We have created guidelines that all clubs should have about how you can train cricket during the corona times. The DOSB, that's the German Olympic Federation, has given 10 guidelines as well. They're called in German Leitplanken, which say that what you should do if you want to train. You should speak to your local authority. And I think if you follow the guidelines of the Olympic Federation, if you follow the guidelines of the DCB, then you should be able to train at the moment. But only do so if you have the the permission from your local sports authorities to do so. Speak to for example, if you're in Munich, speak to the Bavarian Cricket Federation and see what they say. They will know more information than I do. In fact, Sharique, you probably are the best person to contact there.
Yes. So regarding the regions, as Brian said, so DCB, German Cricket Board, will help us to pass through this phase, but regions have to talk to their local regional sports authorities also. Like in Bayern, we have BLSB, Bayerische Landessportverband, and it's for all regions, and we are in touch with them. So Brian, also, if we have more questions, we'll ask you, and if after the session we have questions, then we can ask you to answer later. So in the meanwhile, other than coronavirus, tell us about the winter session. This session was very different from others, and the cricket is really growing. There was a lot of Brighton sport, hobby cricket also. Tell us about German cricket in general.
Yeah, we prioritize this winter speaking to our regions about developing cricket specifically for young people and women. We, together with Abhijit Khan, our board member for grassroots cricket, and Monica Loveday, our vice president, we traveled around Germany. We spoke to 4 of the 6 regions about creating plans to get more German children, more women playing cricket, and we were on a very good way. We'd got very good plans in all regions, strategic plans. We made decisions exactly what we were going to focus on, and then of course coronavirus came. It also meant that we didn't have the opportunity to travel to Nordrhein-Westfalen or to the Hessen region, but that's something we'll do as soon as we're allowed to do. It's something that we prioritize. The men's cricket has grown dramatically over the last 4 or 5 years,
Yes.
and it will continue to grow, and we will still prioritize that. But our main aim has got to be to get more children and more Germans playing cricket, as well as women, which of course we're very proud about what has happened with women's cricket over the last 8 or 9 years.
True, true. So cricket has really evolved. So I will ask the guys to also comment again about your views, how the cricket can go forward, and so yeah. So other people are also joining and just saying hello. For example, Anis Bhatti is appreciating your efforts for cricket. Then we have
I
Ronak
appreciate
Gupta.
Anis's efforts for cricket. Anis is a wonderful person. Hello, Anis.
So Anis. And then we have Makbul Rahim Khan. He also knows you. Um And he says, yeah. So we have more people watching. So when we talk about that, if we get permission to start training soon in 1 week or 2 weeks, for example, so what are the really important things that the clubs and also the players have to really adapt so that they don't land into any kind of trouble, you know?
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of discussions with people who are a lot more informed than we are about how the virus spreads. But the first thing you would think is that cricket is quite safe because there's no physical contact between the batsman and the bowler or the fielders. But there's a lot of things within cricket which are dangerous. I mean, it's practice
Mm-hmm.
in German cricket for the clubs to bring 6 packets of mineral water from Aldi and for everybody to share those water bottles. That's something that can't happen. Obviously, helmets is another issue. You know, you're wearing a helmet, you're batting in 30 degrees heat for an hour, you're sweating, you're spitting onto the grill in front of your face, you take off the helmet, you give it to your colleague, and he catches the virus. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very important, for example, that the helmets are disinfected. It's important that the players have an opportunity to wash their hands. That means before they go onto the field, maybe even during play, maybe at the fall of the wicket, it's an opportunity to quickly wash your hands with soap. So the clubs have to make sure that there's water there. If there's no water supply at the ground, you need to take 2 litres of water. You need to use soap on your hands, and you need to keep distance. And of course, cricket does not always, if it's normal cricket like we all love it, does not really fit in with the social distancing that is expected in Germany and everywhere else. You know, slip fielders stand next to each other. The wicket keeper stands up to a spin bowler and is less than 1 meter away from the batsman. The umpire, if he's standing up, is very close. If the umpire is at square leg, very often there's a fielder who's right next to that umpire, and of course that isn't social distancing at all. So we've made suggestions. It's something called Übergangsregeln, as I mentioned this before, where we stop this happening. And for the corona time, there will be some crazy rules that you would never have imagined would be played in or used in cricket, which stop people being too close and things like this. Some simple things like disinfecting the ball at every opportunity. The umpire needs to look after himself as well. And has to disinfect the ball so that the ball is not, being sent from one person to another and the virus is being transmitted. But we all know, and every player must know, that there is no guarantee if you go to a cricket game or anything else at the moment that you won't catch the virus. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as going to the supermarket. You can wear your mouth protection, your mask. There's no guarantees. It's a dangerous time.
So Mutiala Satish Kumar is asking that, hi Brian, I'm from Wolfsburg. Last week we already started our practice sessions, and if situation allows us, when could we expect our league matches? One thing is expectation and probability, and one thing is already a fact. The fact is that we are not allowed yet, but what do you think about the probability?
Well, if it was my decision, we could start tomorrow because, just like Mutala, we're all missing cricket. The answer is I don't know. Our target is, or what we are aiming for at the moment, is to start in the middle of June, which is another 4 or 5 weeks away. Certainly until the end of this month, and in some regions until the first week of June, there is no competition allowed. That is totally forbidden. And anybody who plays games of cricket during that time is liable to prosecution from the various German authorities. So we have to wait. The government will be sitting again, I think, in a couple of weeks, and will then create more guidelines. And the guidelines that they come up with will depend on how the virus develops. There's some pretty worrying news today that the infections are going up a little bit in Germany. And if that continues to happen, then there's a possibility that the government will say no competitive sports, and maybe we even go back one step and training isn't allowed. So this is why it's important that everybody, absolutely every person who plays cricket, who trains at the moment, listens to the regulations, follows the regulations, and looks after themselves and their teammates, and if we're playing again, our opponents. Let's be patient on this. As I said, there are people dying all over the world. And we're talking about having a game of cricket, which is so important to all of us, but we have to do it when it's the right time. And of course, when it's allowed by the government.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this was the update from us from German Cricket Board side that officially cricket is not allowed yet, but German Cricket Board, together with all the management of regional boards, they are trying really hard that they can come up with a plan that cricket is safe and it is allowed again. And once it's allowed, so we will need support of all the cricket players, all the clubs to that it is safe, because if something goes wrong, then it can be bad for overall cricket. So I think that was it for now regarding the coronavirus update. So last few minutes we will talk about German cricket in the last 1-2 years, its progress before ending the session. In the meanwhile, we will take the comments. So Brian, just tell about the women cricket and men's cricket development in the last 1 or 2 years. And first tell us, since when are you involved in German cricket?
Yeah, I came to Germany in 1996, so 24 years ago. I came from England. And a couple of years later, I started to play cricket. The first game of cricket I had in Germany was almost enough to turn me off for life. We were playing on a coconut mat with no boards underneath it. The ball stayed around my ankles. And I said to my wife, I said, I don't want to play cricket in Germany. But the next week I went, we played on a better pitch, and then I was hooked. In the year 2000, I started to run the league in Nordrhein-Westfalen and was in administration in the local board for years, and I've been at the DCB now for 9 years next month. So I've seen a big development. When I started to play in Nordrhein-Westfalen, there were, I think, 8 or 9 teams. We played against each other. We had a lot of fun. We played, the sport that we all love from our home countries. Everybody was from a cricket playing country. So everybody was from England or Pakistan or India, Sri Lanka. And we had a lot of fun together. Nobody asked each other where people came from. We just played cricket. And this is how it developed really over years. We always wanted to be better. We always wanted to get more clubs, more people involved, children involved. But then obviously what happened 4 years ago when the refugee situation happened in Germany,
2015.
Yeah, was it 2015? It's 5 years ago. My God, it goes very quick. But we were confronted by, people in small towns wanting to set up cricket teams all over Germany, and specifically with men's cricket, it's boomed. As I said, at the moment, it's a little bit quieter. And we're looking at ways now to be proactive in creating new cricketers in Germany and look at ways to entice people to play in our leagues and form clubs. But it was an incredible, couple of years where literally once a week we were announcing a new club somewhere in Germany.
Yes, so we had a lot of new cricket clubs, and of course since 2015 the cricket really boomed. Especially we had a lot of very young Afghani players. So about the national team ranking and about the women cricket, last few words, and then we will wrap up the show for today.
Yeah, I mean, women's cricket is something that our president calls our crown jewels. And Siggy's quite right when he says that. This is something that has developed bit by bit over the last few years. Our national team is very successful. The women are ranked 27 in the world, and they perform very well on the international stage. As I said, they've just come back from Oman before the coronavirus hit. And not just that, the number of women playing cricket is continually growing. We need to do a little bit more. We need to, and our target is to grow and grow and grow with the women. And with the men, we've become more and more successful. About 3 years ago, we had a key experience when we won the European Division 1 title in the Netherlands and qualified for the World Cricket League. Over the last couple of years, we've been successful at T20 level. We're ranked 33 in the world at the moment, but feel that we're better than that, feel that we could maybe be hitting the early 20s within the next few years. We don't know what's going to happen with tournaments. The women have no ICC tournament this year anyway, but the men, their tournament, which should have taken place in Finland, has been cancelled. And we're hoping that there will be a tournament at the end of August, but we just don't know how the coronavirus is going to pan out. Mm-hmm. But our target is to win that tournament, qualify for the European finals. And if we finish under the top 2, which we did last time, then we would qualify for a global qualifier, which would take place next summer, and we would be one step from the T20 World Cup to take place in India. It's probably not realistic to think about the World Cup yet, but it's certainly realistic to think about that global qualifier. And if we're at the global qualifier, we will be playing against the likes of the Netherlands, Scotland, Ireland, some full members. Some of the full members will be there, a couple of, and all of these games will be shown on TV around the world. And that is at the moment a big, big target for us, and it's more than realistic.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the update, and I think it's really amazing, and we should really appreciate all the volunteers across Cricket Germany, because it's a non-cricket playing nation and there is no money involved in it. All the players, all the regional board managements, all the people are not taking any money and working effortlessly for this amazing game. Today, Brian talked to us about the current situation regarding coronavirus, and we are hopeful there will be some sort of cricket. And when we have more updates, and we will come back to you with more updates. So stay tuned to the German Cricket Board and your regional boards. Support us, and we will end this show. If you liked it and you want more shows and with more managers and cricket people involved, just write to us. And thank you very much, Brian, and thank you very much all the viewers and all of them who commented. And it's end of the show.
Thank you,
Till
Sharique,
next time.
and long live Anis Bhatti.
Bye.